Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. Um, Sunday, hope everybody's having a great day. My name is Marvin.
And I'm Betty, and it's great here in Dallas, outside of Dallas. We're outside of Dallas, and it is nice outside.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hit the high of 70 degrees today, so we're gonna get out there and try to maybe soak up some of that sunshine and everything. But anyhow, we wanted to do this video because it's very important to us. The topic of one running into JWs, specifically our CEO of our congregation and his wife, and then also how it leads to the importance of the reason why we decided to write our letters when we left back in March. Okay, so here we go. This is the first ones. This ain't the first JW we ran into. This is the first JW we ran into who we know well and who knows us well. And that was the CEO and his wife of our former congregation. And so we do
Okay, we do estate sales. I'm not sure if we said that before, but we work for ourselves. We do estate sales, and of course, everyone knows that I'm in the counseling field um, and work with clients at some point. So we were doing an estate sale, and we always have to sit and I watch the door. Let me just put it like this: I watch the door to make sure that, for one, I don't allow children there just because of the liabilities, and so I watch the doors and make sure that if they do come to the door, I can just let them know that no children are allowed. And I was sitting there and I was just sort of watching everything and making sure everybody's shopping and going along just fine. And I look up and who pops in the door? The CO. Now, little bit about me and the CO and our little relationship. The CO he a little, like everybody know, he just sort of didn't understand me a little bit because of being outspoken. But I think all in all, we probably was pretty much okay. So he came in the door, and of course Marvin works with the money on the cash register and everything, and so he literally, if I'm not mistaken, you didn't see him right away. Was it me? I seen him,
yeah.
and the CO seen me, and he looked up. He just, I just think it caught him so much by surprise, even though the congregation and everyone know that we do um, estate sales all
Yeah.
over everywhere, and but it just caught him, and he looked up, and he just sort of kept walking with his head turned that way, because I just think it just caught him off guard. And I'm not exactly sure what happened. He passed me, then he passed Marvin, and I said, that was, the CO, but I said his name. I said, and Marvin said, oh. And I said, he said hi. And Marvin said, I didn't hear him. So I think he talked to you a little bit after that.
Yeah, so most definitely, the wife explained. She was the first one because the angle she was sitting at watching the front door. So he seen her when he first came in. At this particular sale, I had a face mask on because the owner had cats and everything, and I can't stand the smell of the cats and everything. So I had a face mask on, and so I know he could see my wife. He knew that was me, even though I had a face mask on. So as he walked by, he was like looking up at the ceiling, like trying not to make eye contact with me, I guess. And this has always been in the back of my mind. What would happen if I did run into somebody who I knew from the congregation, from the organization, period. And so him and his wife, they do a little reselling.
Yes.
Right? So they were coming in to find stuff to flip at the estate sale, right? And so he called me out to the garage, and there was a long dresser out there. And so he asked me the price on it. And I told him $50. It was a nice dresser. I said, $50. He said, okay. And he walked him, and so I left and went back up front. And what's interesting is that after he came in, he looked around, he walked out. He didn't buy nothing. And so what happened later?
Then after that, I'm still at the door. We just kind of talking about it casually and everything, And so I thought it was kind of, for me, I thought it was kind of neat, and at the same time, it was really funny because I saw no shawning. I just have to say that there was no shawning to me. It was awkwardness, if anything. So I'm still sitting there, and all of a sudden I look, and his wife comes in the door. Now, I had taught his wife a few things about, selling, because we resell as well. And so she liked it. She liked a lot of the way that I did. When she came in the door, she saw me, and before she could, I think, get her composure, she just jumped and did like this. And I said, and I did it back, and she was so happy to see me. Yeah. I think just in her mind, maybe just thinking, they're okay. They're really okay. And I waved, and she waved, and, we kind of did a little like that, and really it felt really good because for me, it was showing that people are human. Yeah. And so she came and she talked to Marvin and talked about some of the things she was coming to pick up that her husband had. I think he set them on what we have, a holding shelf, and he set some things there, and it was a couple of other pieces that they wanted. And she said, we're gonna be back, tomorrow before you guys close. It was the last day before you guys close and so forth. And so, all day, it really made my day. Yeah. That she really couldn't contain herself, and two, she really seemed like she was just happy that we were okay.
Yeah, that's true. And it really was, to kind of help y'all understand the relationship that we have with our CEO. He was sent over a few months after we left the congregation. He was sent over from another congregation. He was not a CEO. This was his first time being the CEO of a congregation. So he was sent over to ours to basically take it over. They were having a few little hiccups in our congregation, I guess, not major, that I could think of. So when he came in, me and my wife, one of the first things that we did, is we took him out to eat. One of the things that we did, took him out to eat and everything. That was nice. But we spent a lot of time, like my wife spoke of, her talking to his wife, being out in service. We'd be out in service talking about reselling, because we both sell online, eBay and other sites and so forth, and we do the estate sales as well. My wife spoke of. And so that really intrigued him and his wife, especially his wife. And so he always asks me, how's your reselling business going? How's your reselling business going? So that run-in taught, and we discussed this, it taught us this is the reason why we are so glad that we wrote our letter. A simple letter we wrote. In fact, you remember how simple our letter was that we wrote to the congregation?
Yeah, they were saying different things, but my letter stated that I no longer want to have anything to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. I do not want to be on your roll call. I do not want to be in your books. I do not want my name connected to the Jehovah's Witnesses organization as of that day, which was in March.
Yeah, it was very simple letters that we wrote. We didn't give no explanation as to why we was leaving or nothing like that. Because pretty much, to be honest with you guys, they already knew a lot of stuff that we had problems with. We had talked to, I spent time in field service with this brother, the CEO of the congregation. I spent time in field service with him. We both talking about our past and everything to one another, and was having heart-to-heart talk and everything. So he understood all the problems we had in the past that caused us to become inactive for, it was a pretty good period of time.
Yeah, we were inactive. It was 5 years or more.
Yeah, we was inactive for a good period of time because of my wife. She had a lot of fiction with ones in the congregation.
like I said, what I found out later, because I was a pioneer, was working, pioneering. I loved it in the beginning. I thought it was, it was really good because someone asked me before, why did I leave the Baptist church? One of the reasons is because I was becoming one of Jehovah's Witnesses at that time. I see no reason for me at that time to do them both. But when I got with the Jehovah's Witnesses, for me, I thought I was moving into really, really a family life. Something that I just didn't have when I was growing up. So I really thought I was moving into some, people that really cared about each other. But I started having problems right after we got baptized. I started having problem with the sisters. I would ask questions, I couldn't get answers. For me, that's not good. Especially in a leadership position. So we did talk to the CO. And we talked to his wife, and his wife and I got really okay, and she really liked, the resale business. We actually was out in service talking about resale, but at the same time, we were witnessing. So yeah, we did have problems. As everyone knows, very outspoken, and but at the same time, I felt like whatever it was that I needed to be doing as a witness, I was trying to do that.
That's true. My wife is very outspoken and everything, and that's actually the elders in the congregation loved her for that. The sisters, another story, but the elders did. They tickled them to death, so forth. Her straightforwardness. But this is the reason why it was important for us as we reflect back on that moment when that CEO and his wife came into that estate sale, because he's the type of CEO, because of our relationship, when we were kind of slowing down before we left, he would always text me. He would say, "Hey, how you guys doing? Didn't see y'all on Zoom. Did you get any time for the month?" Now, right before we left, I had quick. Like, my wife asked me about my time. I said, "I ain't turning in no time." I said it just clicked on me that it made no sense to do that. So he will always be in touch with us, and so I didn't want to leave the congregation and they thinking that Witness is inactive again. No, I want them to know that we are separating ourselves from the organization and so forth. And that's very important. Not only that reason, but just to know,
Okay, this is something. I mean, we have gotten them on the comments. Just leave. Don't say anything. But this is the way I, speaking for myself, I looked at it like this. When I was studying and it was getting close to me being baptized, I was told that I needed to write the church and let the church know that I would no longer be coming to the church. I was going to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Okay, that's fine. But it didn't dawn on me until later when we were inactive. If we were inactive, then it just means that we're inactive. It doesn't mean that they can't come to us. It doesn't mean that if they show another one of the videos where everybody's got to go into hiding and they say, everybody make sure your addresses is okay, because if we go into hiding, they got to come and get you. Well, if you didn't write that letter, they coming to you. They're going to come to get you because they're thinking that they need to save you. They need for you to go into hiding as well. When they're having some a really big event or whatever, they're going to get in touch with you because they don't know that you're no longer Jehovah's Witness. They think you're just inactive. And of course, as long as you're inactive, people can still talk to you. And so that was my thing was that, and I want everybody to understand this, my thing was I felt very strongly about being connected And we'll probably go into this being connected with someone that was doing things that I am against. Namely, sexual abuse with children.
Right.
I am against that. I do not want to be known for someone that is doing that. I don't want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
And for me to disconnect myself is to write them and let them know I want no parts of this.
Yeah.
I am not blaming anyone. I am not judging anyone. I am just saying that this is not a part of life that I want to be known for. And if I am one of Jehovah's Witnesses and it goes in the news that the Jehovah's Witnesses, not just the elders, they're not breaking them. They said the Jehovah's Witnesses are known for sexual abuse with children.
Yeah, you don't want to be tied to that.
And I don't want to be tied to that.
And that was very important for both of us. Because that was the main reason that I know that I ended up leaving for sure. I was ready to leave. Because my wife had already made up her mind to write the letter. And I was trailing behind a little bit because of the family. I got family, still in the organization and everything. Once I got over that little hiccup, it was a done deal. It didn't take long, but a week or two to do that and everything, to get over that hiccup. But the point that my wife is speaking about is, like, you want to cut ties with that organization for us. Now, people got different reasons why they don't want to write a letter. Many say that they don't want to follow no more orders from the organization. That's fine. That's your reason. But for us, it's very important to cut ties. That's part of the healing process for us. Was to cut ties with that organization, saying, as my wife strongly expressed, we don't want to be associated with y'all. Y'all doing some very fraudulent, criminal, and moral activities because y'all hiring the individuals who are doing them. That makes you part of it. That's what you teach. No, don't become sharers on someone else's sins. And that's exactly what you are doing, if not doing the same yourself. But anyhow, that was one of the main reasons why it was so very important for us to write that letter. And when we ran into our CEO and everything, I never expected, like my wife, she was surprised too, the reaction that we got. I never expected that. Because the reaction I got from my family, who's an organization, was much stronger. The family sometimes goes above and beyond what is written even in the organization's publications. Oh, they'll show you to death, right? And like some of them asked me why, and I talked to them on the phone and everything like that. And I explained to them. Some didn't ask. That's it. Just cut off. I sent an email to everybody. So I sent the letter to the congregation. We both sent the letter to the congregation. Because I got family organization, I also sent them an email short. I'm no longer one of Jehovah's Witnesses. And a couple of them did call and want to know more. But
now, one of the reasons why this is really, really important, one reason is when you cut your ties with something that you're not in agreement with, then you are starting to change your own life. I cut my ties so that I could move on. I really don't want to be at the store and run into someone and it is awkward to them. It's not awkward to me. We can talk, we can laugh, we can whatever. Or we can throw our head up in the air and keep on walking. I'm good either way. But for yourself and for myself, I had to know that I stood up for me.
Yeah. So
that I can work with myself, so that I could move on to where I need to move on. Because I really don't want you mistaking me for being one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Seriously.
Out of there.
If someone say, "Don't I know you? Aren't you one of Jehovah's Witnesses?" I'm going to say, "No, I'm not."
Yeah. They'll report.
And I'm not going to even explain. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm not.
In essence, along with you saying, Betty, it's very important because, in essence, I look at it as standing up for the victims of the abuse. Why? If I'm against all these things the organization is doing, why do I want to keep my name on their books? You know, why do I want to be still? Because you're still a witness. You're just either inactive or you've been disfellowshipped. Now, I can understand some people. You might have been disfellowshipped for a long period of time. You just drifted away. You ain't never gone back. You don't care to write the letter. Each individual got their own reason for going either way with this. But for us, and the points that my wife brought out with the CSA cases and everything, and standing up for the victims, you know, by totally saying, you know what, I'm with you guys, I'm with y'all 100%. We don't want to be part of this organization no more and everything because of things that they've done to you. Now, it might be some individuals who are contemplating on coming on out of the organization, who just came out of the organization, and you're going to have to make this decision. Should I write a letter or not? Disassociate myself from the organization. And like I said,
yeah, okay. I was going to say with that, there's a healing process in this entire thing. You know, some have been, you know, a witness for years and years, and sometimes it is a little difficult to move on. But at some point, we have to think about what is it? Where are the children in all this? And then I really have to say this because I really have, you know, read some of the comments that may, you know, say, well, you know, when we were talking about the person that studied with us, well, you know, they may be getting, you know, hindered. Is the organization hindering them? I have not once read any comment that says, I hope the child gets better. I hope the child will be able to move on. Yeah. Everything that I have been hearing is for the pedophile. Yeah. Okay, for him. What if this, and don't you forgive him? And it's not my place. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I don't. I am saying I am for the victim. Yeah. I am for a little child that could not help themselves. A little child that a grown man went in and violated their childhood. Yeah. That's what I am. That's what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm for. So please, let's get this right. It's not about the person that did it. And I am going to say this from a counseling point of view and actually dealing with situations close to that. If you feel like that the person that done it, if you feel strongly that they're not being treated fairly, if you feel strongly that they need to be forgiven, then I really want to say, please, look at yourself. Feel, you know, try to figure out, why am I feeling like this? And at some point, think about this. What if it was your child? Yeah. What if that was your child? Or better yet, how do you know that it's not?
Yeah, because my wife referring to our last video that we did with the CEO and his wife who studied with us to the point of baptism, come to find out about his past, that he's a registered sex offender. It came out, and came out surprise. I was Googling just names, people I knew the congregation, and his image, his picture, mugshot popped up and everything. So it took us by shock that you know a person all these years. This is the they consider to be in the organization. They consider to be a spiritual mother and father, okay, and then to find out this about his past. Now, person ain't holding that against nobody that passed. I think some people got it kind of twisted a little bit that we're holding that against them. No, but society has in place a system of checks and balances and laws that these individuals have to follow to protect the community at large, which the organization itself failed to do to protect the young ones who got abused in the organization. They protected the pedophile, and that's my wife referring to, is that a lot of individuals, and I had to think to myself, I said, why would somebody go to that length in the comments to express this deep concern for this pedophile, not once mentioned nothing about the victims. So I came to, it had to be several different things. One, they could have been a pedophile themselves. Two, they could have been a victim of a pedophile. And I had learned from my own family, my own sisters in my family, that they will sympathize with the abuser. Many cases, they'll sympathize with the abuser. They'll protect the abuser. I see my sisters and them did it towards me, protecting our father. You know? And I had to really think about that. I said, why would they do that? And so that's something I can't answer, but that seems to be what happened in the comments and everything. And so I understand people's concern. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I don't know if these are JWs or by the language doesn't seem to be. But God is forgiving. Yes, He is forgiving. Everybody deserves a second chance. But the children deserve protection. And they deserve to forgive their abuser so that they can go on, live their lives, and heal as they need to.
If they choose to.
If they choose to.
If they choose to. A lot of people think that has to be done. You can be away from your child for years and years and years and maybe go to prison or maybe do something. And when you see them again, if they decide to tell you how they feel, that's their right. If they decide to forgive that abuser, that's their right. If they decide not to, that is their right. They are children. They are children that did not get a chance to go through the stages of being a child and growing up to an adult because part of that childhood robbed them of that. They have to immediately, wherever you get abused, whatever time it is, whatever age it is, parts of your life right then start to transform. Because now you have left innocence and you are starting to go into survival mode. And you have to survive. And so, for me, what I really want everybody to know is that this is not a period of judging. This is not, holding. We're not going to hold prayer service and try to go in and deal with someone else that may have been a victim or an abuser. What we are doing at this point is education. It's about educating. Whether you're a witness or not, you have the responsibility of learning about this enough to where, should you see any signs, then you know how to deal with it. I have to say this for an example. Every time I went out in field service, I always saw one of the brothers that was always taking the kids out, and the mother may have been with me. And for me, just because I know about it, people always say, "You're so suspicious." I'm not suspicious. I'm careful and I'm conscientious about what could possibly happen. And that's what this is for. Yeah. Not, stumbling him. If he is done and whatever it is that he's made as far as rekindling himself with his life, great. I'm happy for you. But it's the child, most children that are abused sexually grow up with a whole lot of thorns in their side. Yeah. And just this last bit from Jehovah's Witnesses, what I found out, is that one, they don't educate them. They do not educate them, but yet they can disfellowship them about that. They don't let them know that if brother so-and-so, if he touches you in the wrong spot, you need to come and let somebody know. They don't do that. They just recently tried to have a few watchtower discussions, and everybody was avoiding the subject.
Yeah. That's true. Education is the key. In this technology age, Google, just get in Google anything. Now Google about this subject. look at the statistics of those who have been arrested, many times arrested for only one case. And anytime how many cases that they have of it, but only got busted for one. And how many go out and return to become serial abusers and so forth. And like way my wife speaking of the few Wasshouse they came out with, and the little cartoon that they came out with on their website on that subject, showing a monster type figure. No, it's not a monster type figure. It's somebody who they know and trust. It's always somebody who they know and trust. It can be a father, an uncle. It can be a leader in a congregation. It can be a coach. And so, yeah, a person has to be, a parent has to be super vigilant in that area in this day and age, sad to say. But this is the reality of the situation. But, yeah, we found it so very interesting about, running to our CEO and really being appreciative that we wrote our letters, because it didn't require us to try to explain anything. Because imagine if we hadn't wrote our letters and he came in there to that state sale and wait, where you guys been? How you guys doing? No, he already knew the position that we had taken, and that was wonderful that we did that and everything. And then for you folks who in the comments and everything, continue to leave your comments. Try to respond to as many as we possibly can and so forth. And I like to interchange in the comments and everything myself and so forth. And because people got their own thoughts and their own opinions, and so forth. And it's just their opinions and everything. So, but this is our story, and this is our story of leaving the JWs, the different stages that we're going through. It's our December is here. Okay, we're gonna start a new year here, and pretty soon we'll be coming around to our first year anniversary of leaving the organization, which will be March of next year, and so forth. So, you got any final?
Yeah, I just wanted to say this, just so that the ones that are leaving the comments are understanding. I do research. I have to in the field that I am in. I'm actually working with the adolescents, and development. And I want to just say this. Childhood sexual abuse is not just Jehovah's Witnesses. Mm-hmm. Okay? It's a religious fault, if you will. Period. Mm-hmm. It's not witnesses by themselves, but that's what I was at that time. And I left because I didn't want any parts. But it's Mormons, it's Seventh-day Adventists. That's just a thorn that happens, period. So, don't think that because I left, I'm finding everything that's wrong. No, I found out that is just not a part of my life that I want to do. And, it's also breaking loose of what we talked about earlier, that plantation mindset. Mm-hmm. And I know of a situation where that plantation mindset caused that person to just let that happen because they thought they had to. And just, what I want to leave with you is that it's not changing the mind, it's changing the life. And because a person is not a JW doesn't mean a person can't move on with their life. It actually means that you can, and you can start enjoying their life. For instance, today is Sunday, and I don't have to go to a meeting or go out in field service. Just thought I'd just throw that in.
Yeah, it's a lot of things, because we're busy with our businesses and so forth. And so we get to put more time into that. Even when we were in an organization, we was putting time into that. The brothers used to try to make exceptions. The same CEO that came to the state sale, when he was trying to get me to be a ministerial servant again and stuff like that, he was trying to make exceptions for me. Like, oh, well, you don't have to come to the. I said, I don't want to come to the meetings with the elders and ministerial servants and everything like that. If I can't make it and so forth, I live across town. He said, well, we can make concessions for you and everything. But I said, I want you doing that. The things showing favoritism towards me and everything. But so they knew that we was about business and the organization and everything. They knew we like having nice things and so forth like that, driving nice cars and so forth. So they knew that about us and everything. And so it's no surprise to them probably that we left, given the background, our background, conversations we had with the elders beforehand. There was no need to have a departing conversation with them because they already knew a lot about why we was headed in that direction. I'm sure they seen it before we seen it and everything. But thank y'all for tuning in to this video and everything. I hope the things, the golden nuggets that we dropped, especially my wife, really helped you out and everything with your situation or possibly somebody who you know. Okay? Well, listen, we hope y'all have a great, great day, and we look forward to seeing you on our next video.
Get educated.
All right, John.
It could help someone.
Stay on top of things now.